Happy Monday!
Yeah.
How's everybody doing?
Bad.
Bad.
No, it's a moving the chains Monday, as Bo said.
Moving the chains Monday. I loved your Disney princess, man.
I do it probably once every 3-4 shows.
I love that you call it a Disney princess wave.
Yeah, one
That's
time
what
just
it
a
is,
royal
no?
wave.
Well, I mean, it's just
Just a princess
like
wave.
princesses.
Oh, yeah.
They've been
That's
doing
fair.
it way before Disney.
Guys, welcome into the PHNX Sun Devils show. I'm Anthony Totri.
Yeah, you
He's
are.
Shawn
Oh
DePaz.
my God,
He's Shane Diefenbach.
that was phlegmful.
I don't know.
Plum.
Who knows?
Who knows?
I've
Yeah,
had
he
this
is.
cough the last few days.
How's was y'all's weekends?
It was pretty good.
Yeah?
Very good, actually.
Vibey?
Yeah, went to a spring training game yesterday.
Nice.
It was really fun.
What about you,
D-backs
Shane?
shit pumped the Royals.
That's
Well,
fine.
Nice.
Kind of.
Couple minutes in, just shit pumped out the way. How you doing?
College basketball was awesome. Saturday and Sunday games were great.
yeah, it was.
Sunday specifically, it was really fun.
Yeah. A lot of fun.
Baseball Classic was fucking electric. Is fucking electric.
You good? I feel like you
Just angry
Yeah, I feel like he's just got
What?
a lot
I was
going
excited.
on.
I was saying something's fucking electric. How is that angry?
because we know your stance on the World Baseball Classic.
I love the World
You're
Baseball
angry at
Classic.
people that
So
don't
there
like
needs
it.
to be a stance
Yes,
on
I am
it?
No,
angry
there
at
needs to be
people.
a stance on everything with him.
No, that's something that people should have a stance on. Because
The World
if we-
Baseball Classic is great.
yeah, but I don't like how people treat it. Because everyone talks about the pointless games. You don't hear motherfuckers saying that when we're talking about the Olympics or we're talking about the World
All I'm
Cup.
saying, I don't think anybody in this office shares that sentiment.
I know.
You
I
get
don't
so
know.
angry,
I'm mad at
dude.
y'all. Yeah, because motherfuckers are racist on the internet. That's why I'm angry.
Well, yeah. Yeah, let's talk about Arizona State. Why don't we?
Ooh.
Yeah, yep. Go ahead.
I didn't even see this.
Let the people know.
What's
Frankie Collins quote tweeting
Oh,
Keyshawn Gilbert,
Yeah.
UNLV guard.
Yeah.
That was a genuine reaction. That's how I react to things now.
With the eye
Ooh.
emoji.
I hadn't seen
Ooh.
it. He just mentioned it right before you sat down.
Getting back-to-back years of players from Nevada, the state of Nevada,
Yeah, state of
coming to
Nevada.
Arizona State, potentially.
I love when, dude. Have you seen like people obsessing over like art forms and like core? Have you seen like
Art forms and core.
No, let me explain. I'm trying to think of like an example, like 80s core. Like they're like it's like a style of pictures that people like on TikTok or like on the internet where they're like how people decorate their houses, like how people decorated their houses in the 80s, and it's like
I
a
feel like
trend.
core is an unnecessary way to say aesthetic.
Well, yeah, aesthetics, yeah, sure, but yeah, you're right. So aesthetics, like
Mhm.
really niche aesthetics. That's what they are.
Yeah, I feel you.
My favorite niche aesthetic is transfer portal announcements.
Mm.
And they are so funny to me because they can be so different. Like this one, like it's just like text with, and then with that being said has to be in everything. I will be entering the transfer portal in bold. Nothing else is bold. It's just such a funny thing.
Mine
They're all so unique.
is on 3 or tipped and edits commitment graphics with like the unnecessarily color edited.
Yeah,
Nike.
like Ben Scott's commit
Yeah.
one. He was just massive on the Nebraska
there was
field.
I don't know if it was tipped. I think it was tipped and edits. A kid committed to Syracuse, like a transfer committed to Syracuse, and the graphic had a picture of New York City in the background, and everyone lost their damn minds because Syracuse is not New York City. I love the different graphics because they're always kind of really bad but fun.
Are we going to get a Bobby Hurley transfer graphic, potentially?
Wouldn't be a transfer necessarily, but we might.
In theory.
I'm sure there will be another graphic with Bobby's face on it at some point.
Yes.
I don't
Guys,
know when it'll be.
I don't know if you saw people on Twitter, social media losing their minds over Bobby Hurley tweeting a thank you to his players on social media the other day after the season ended, like he does just about every year. And then Chris Cartman of Sun Devil Source tweeting earlier today that Bobby is just meeting with his players, usual meetings. But I think everybody is putting, I don't want to say going like above and beyond or going over the top,
They're doing
making
the most.
assumptions, but maybe connecting the dots a little bit between the Providence job opening, college basketball, the coaches in general, just the cycle of it all. And then obviously Michael Crow's comments on the facilities. Like, I think everybody connecting the dots in terms of what could be next for Arizona State basketball, Bobby Hurley. What do you guys think?
Well, if you haven't seen the statement, it basically just I'll read it word for word. It says, "I'm so proud of our 2022 to 2023 team. Thank you to the players and coaches for all their hard work, dedication, sacrifice. Few teams have as much heart and soul as this group. And to Sun Devil Nation, we couldn't do it without your support. Thank you." Why are people freaking out? I understand why people are freaking out because of, as you said, in light of Crow's comments. But
And he's only got 1 year left on his contract.
You put this statement in a vacuum, it means nothing. With the current situation, sure.
Yeah, it'd be one thing if he was like, these last 8 years have been amazing.
Yeah.
Yes, that is 100% different.
But I mean,
what I didn't like is people in the comments immediately being like, please stay, like begging. I'm like, just like.
I agree, but I think that also, I don't hate that, right? If you're somebody that wants Bobby Hurley to be the long-term future at Arizona State, and you've got fans in his comments saying, please stay, I don't think that hurts.
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
And I mean, I know we're going to like get more into the pros and cons of leaving and staying, but I mean, we talk a lot about the support or lack thereof of this program.
Mm-hmm.
And so, I mean, people getting in the comments and showing the support, it definitely can't do anything to hurt.
Yeah, absolutely. Rez in the chat, I believe he will stay, and I don't think it is because of potentially getting some new handrails in the arena either.
But I feel like people minimize this arena situation so much, though. Like, I get it. It's like the renovation of it is, it's not just, it could just be handrails. It could just be seating. It could be, but it's also
the whole thing is archaic.
It's really old.
Yeah.
You had to cancel a game last year because of I'm just not sold on the idea that it doesn't. Some people put it really
impacts wins.
It does.
It objectively does.
Objectively does. And just because you have my Panda shirt, it might be a good luck shirt and it might serve a purpose of being a shirt. I'm not going to go wear that to a job interview. Like, it has holes in it.
Yeah.
Like DFA has holes in it. It figuratively and literally.
I was going to say, give it some time and we'll have literal holes in it.
Look, I'm going to read for those of you listening or watching that are unfamiliar with what Michael Crow has said recently on the whole DFA situation. State Press, they got the chance to sit down with Crow like they do once a year and talk to him. The one thing I love about that is one thing in journalism that you are taught never to do, right, is to give the questions in advance, right, because you want a candid answer. Michael Crow will not do an interview with anybody unless he has the questions in advance. So he knew what he was saying going into this interview, right? This is not like they had just sprung this basketball DFA question on him and this was his first answer. This was his prepped answer, was to say that DFA didn't need anything, right? So this is pulling from AZ Central, their story, just kind of piecing together what Crow said and then also Ray Anderson. So it says, Arizona State University President Michael Crow recently made some interesting comments to the State Press about the state of the school's basketball venue, Desert Financial Arena, calling the facility, quote, completely functional and a, quote, fine facility, while also saying that, quote, it does not determine if we win basketball games at all. And then Crow also refuted some comments from his own AD, Ray Anderson, about the venue, which Anderson said was in, quote, dire need of work last year. Crow said, quote, I don't know what he meant by dire. You've been there. It's completely functional. It's actually a fine facility and just needs some updates.
Dude, just lying through his teeth.
Well,
and then in terms of the updates, said, quote, there haven't been any serious injuries, seriously, from that. And then referring to the handrails, talking about locker room updates and seating updates.
What makes me mad is even if he's telling the truth, why would you just settle for a fine arena? You are the second biggest school in the nation, sometimes the first biggest, depending on who you ask, census-wise. That is ridiculous that you would settle for a fine arena. It's fine. Everything's fine. You hate how I use fine. This arena is fine in my sense, but even if it was fine in somebody else's sense, which is normal, okay, passable, that's not cool. That's not fine. A Power 5 school with this much potential shouldn't settle for fine.
Yeah. Schools can get away with fine. Duke gets away with fine. But they have history and legacy.
But do they get away with fine?
Yeah,
they could get away with fine, but they don't settle for fine.
No, they do in the sense that Cameron is an old facility. Yeah. It's not, but you can get away with that if you have something special about it. But ASU doesn't. I mean, I'll be much more concerned after May 16th because, as Craig Morgan reported previously, there have been talks about ASU trying to play their basketball games there at the Tempe Entertainment District if it were to get built. And so I don't really know, it's been a while since Craig did that reporting. I don't know what's going on behind the scenes. Maybe there's some gamesmanship involved in what Michael Crow was saying or doing. And so I'll be much more concerned if that doesn't get passed and all of a sudden we're like, okay, Now what? Because you can sell me on that DFA is fine for 3 years.
You can't. It's literally the same piece of garbage that's been there.
No, but I'm saying like it's okay. Like there's a roof over it. They can play basketball games there. If there is a plan to move somewhere else in a couple of years, don't spend a cent on that arena.
Yeah.
But
that's fine, but you got to give somebody like, unless the coaching staff and the players and recruits are made aware that there's a plan in the future, and they might be.
The coaches, I'm sure, are.
They might be, right? Or we've got to take this for face value of Crow is saying it's a fine facility and there's no plans for upgrades or whatever, right? And at that point, he's absolutely wrong, right? You can't tell me that a nice facility doesn't improve your program, whether that be winning games, getting recruits, getting coaches. Like, at a certain point, you have to see what some of the other giant powers in the NCAA have done over the course of the last however many years to try and improve the product, right?
Yeah.
And when you're going to sit here, and Arizona State, I think as a whole, we can agree, has got some traction, whether that be with Kenny or other sports across the valley. Like, why just settle for fine? Why would you want a fine facility, right? If you're quote-unquote #1 in innovation and you're fine with a dinosaur of a basketball facility?
You want my honest answer? Because the man making the decisions is fine. Like, Michael Crow, it's not his thing. He clearly does not really give a shit about athletics the way a president or chancellor needs to care about athletics to have them be successful, like the University of Arizona. Like, Shane and I were talking about it. We both read this article that was released earlier today by I forget, what was his name off the top of your head?
Canzano.
John Canzano. And like, you look at it, who are the two best teams in basketball in the conference? Objectively speaking, it's UCLA and University of Arizona.
Yep.
What two schools spend the most money on basketball? Ironically enough, it's the University of Arizona and UCLA.
Yeah.
Arizona didn't charter or didn't take a single commercial flight this year.
Can you give me the top 4, Totri? Off the top of your head, can you just guess?
U of A, UCLA, Oregon.
Yep.
Let's go. It's not USC.
No.
It's one that is kind of spitting in the face of this rule, but
give me Washington State.
Utah.
No close. Utah?
Yeah.
I thought Washington was up there.
Washington is this tied with Utah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Arizona, UCLA, 12.2, 11.9 million. ASU, 8.9. There's a lot of good stuff in this article. We can link it to you guys in the chat if you want it.
And I mean, and also these facilities and stuff, like, you look at Utah, men had an okay season. Look what their women are doing now. Like,
well,
they're one of the best teams in the country.
Emma, can you scroll up a little bit? Reza said, but it's not just these historical programs that's pumping money. It's teams that are getting better on the up and up, like TCU.
Yeah.
TCU just had a $40 million upgrade in all of their facilities. 8.9 million for ASU a year.
And just look what they've done over the course of the last 5 years.
Everything. National championship appearance in football. Another deep run in basketball, just getting eliminated last night. Gave Gonzaga a run for their money. Covered, even. But it's so upsetting because if you want to talk all this talk about where you want to be and the new age of sports and whatever and why aren't people supporting us, and then you turn around and say, like, screw off, Bobby. We don't care. We told you we would upgrade your facilities. We don't care. Go have fun in the Big East. Like, it's upsetting and it's so disrespectful.
I would argue that facilities, right, they can get players to play harder. They can get fans to show up more. Just look at Mullet Arena. Like, I'm going to be honest, I don't know how many ASU hockey games that I went to when they were at their old facility, but I guarantee you that they weren't selling out the student section the way that they are at Mullet.
Well, that was a lot easier to sell out. There was like
200
seats.
You get a new facility. It gets hope around the program.
Well, yeah, I mean, they got a new facility, and then they look at the recruits that they got, or the transfers they got. They got Robert Mastrosimone. They got Semp. Like, some of like top tier players, and that doesn't happen at Oceanside.
But as Coach Evan B points out in the chat, we're not even asking for that. We're not asking for a total renovation. He says Utah's basketball arena is the exact same design as ASU's. All they did was update lighting, sound, video boards, and it looks great. Maybe some seating concessions. Like, that's all. That's all, man.
Yeah,
that's all. Maybe make sure that the environment you work out in is safe and that the plumbing works. But other than that, that's all we're asking for. That's all we're asking for, man.
I would argue you start with the locker rooms,
Yeah.
right? You want to get players. Obviously, the court and everything a massive renovation or a new building in general would be nice. But if you want to get recruits, you want to get players, start in the locker room. Like the whole facility, I'm gonna be honest, is just trash. It's garbage. It's old, and it needs to be. To your point, Shawn, if they're gonna do something about it, don't put a cent into it because you're gonna get a new building. You need a new building. But there's just, you can't have any sort of belief that that's gonna be the case with what Crow has said in the last week.
Yeah, and I mean, Dom's in the comments making like fair points. Like it's not all on the school. Like ASU does not necessarily have, like James Harden's not out here handing money to the school like other big schools.
But when you are the largest public institution in the nation, you probably,
but that's why he brings up Ohio State.
You don't need it.
Yeah,
that's why he brings up Ohio State, who is the largest as well. Like another thing is, if you're asking for money from other people, then why weren't you doing it before? Why does it take 2020 to 2022's version of ASU athletics to get behind players and stuff? Why does it take a collective outside of the school to get people to donate before? Like, don't act like you need help when you haven't been asking for help.
You know what the frustrating thing is that this is coming off of a tournament appearance. And if I don't know if you know this, when you make the tournament, you get a bunch of money.
Yeah.
And you get money for other schools being in the tournament too, which is I know you probably don't want to hear. That's probably part of why it kind of sucks that U of A got eliminated early, but it is what it is. It would be a nice parting gift from UCLA to go win a natty.
Yeah.
And give us some money and then fuck off to the Big Ten. But there's a lot of legs to this. Like it is not solely on the school to put stuff in. But if you're James Harden, for example, who has an interesting relationship with the university as it is, but like say he didn't and he loved the school, but you're sitting here and you're like, you want to give money, but Michael Crow's sitting there like, I don't really care. It doesn't really need it. Then like, why would you go take it on yourself to do that? Like other schools, they don't beg, but they kind of beg. Like they will ask people for money and show that they are willing to put in investments.
But even if it's not only on Crow, if a company is failing and you see that it's failing and the employees are going crazy, the person to make sure that things don't completely blow up is the person in charge.
No, that's what I'm saying. Like, if you look around and yes, it takes a village, but if the fucking mayor is like,
it's fine,
we're fine, then why would the village do shit?
Yeah, exactly.
So I don't understand what Crow. Like I said, maybe there's some kind of gamesmanship in the background that I don't fully understand.
Yeah,
but
what game are you playing? Because you've been playing it for a while now.
On its face, I don't understand the point of making the comments.
Even if the game that you're playing is about what you're going to be, going into this new arena later down the road, even if that's the game that you're playing, if you don't figure out and play the game with Bobby right now and he leaves, then fuck the game. It doesn't matter. You lost what you wanted anyway.
Yeah, 100%.
Makes no sense.
I have a question for you guys.
Yeah.
So at U of A, they have donors that basically apply pressure to get things done to some degree. Right now, they invest a lot of money into the basketball arena, got renovated, and all those things. Does that not happen at ASU? Is there not donors that are big enough into sports that really push the envelope for Michael Crow and the athletic department?
I think in the past, and this is just speaking on football, donors were really hesitant after the whole Herm experiment. And during the whole Herm experiment, whether it be large donors or season ticket holders, were, I don't want to say afraid, but they were playing their cards pretty close to their chest, just waiting to see what was going to happen with that situation and the way that they handled it. In terms of basketball, I'm not nearly as connected there, but it's definitely not the same. I mean, even with that AZ Central article, right? When you have your president going against what your athletic director said,
That's
like
what,
there's there's a disconnect that they're not even on the same page, and these are 1 and 2.
Yeah, and that wasn't like a while ago. That was in February of last year when he said that DFA is in dire need. Dire need. That was the phrase.
They canceled the game. They had to cancel the game against a fucking. There's all this talk about like HBCUs and stuff, and like their their funding or lack thereof, and you are a Power 5 school having to cancel the game against a HBCU because your facilities are dog shit and you don't have the money. Like that, how are you gonna, there is no way that over the course of a year with no renovations to make note of, that it's fine now. You don't cancel games.
It sucks because it's not just affecting wins and losses and recruiting and whatnot. It's affecting people like us too, who are clamoring and pleading, please support, go to the games. This makes it so hard to support. If the people in charge don't even care.
Yeah. Saul, did you have another thing or no?
I was just curious about that because that's one thing that happens down at the U of A. And to your point, for at least for the last decade, I'd say the president and the athletic director have mostly been in unison in terms of support of the athletics program. Definitely seems like there's a disconnect here, and I just don't understand that at all. I don't understand. Like, again, we can talk about the sleeping giant bullshit all day long, but again, ASU should be in the top 20, 25 of the country in terms of facilities, and they are far from, and it's unfortunate.
I don't think it's a sleeping giant. I think there was just a small man who is in charge of everything who is asleep.
No, he's awake. He's awake.
Barely.
Just get your house in order.
I mean, this
get
goes
your house in order,
This
dude.
goes back to the conversation we were having back when Ray was making the NIL comments about how they're not interested really in doing NIL. And everyone was quick to point fingers at Ray. But I was like, listen, this might be a Michael Crow thing. And I'm starting to think I was right. Like, Michael Crow just is not invested in this shit like he needs to be for athletic programs to be successful. And football is a little different because football is an enigma and it can exist in its own right. And especially when you have a guy like Kenny. But a school like basketball is not going to be able to do that. There's no activating the valley with basketball like Kenny has done with football. You're going to need institutional support that it clearly does not have.
1968, the chat saying Bobby Hurley is going to Duke to win the national championship. If this was last year, oh boy, then there would be full panic. Oh God, but they have their guy. That's okay.
Well, so let's talk about that then. What our conversation over the last 20 minutes and change does for Bobby Hurley, right? If you are him in this situation and you've heard what Michael Crow has to say, you've obviously the relationship that Bobby and Ray have with everything that went down at DFA some years ago, like the Providence job opening up college basketball in general. You've got now the coaching carousel, right? And I don't want to put all eyes on Providence, but like
it's
connecting the dots, right? That situation opens up. Bobby's from New Jersey. I want to say it's about 190 miles away. Like, and you've only got one more year left on your contract if you're Bobby. Like, what is going on, do you think, in his head right now?
You can't say because we don't. First of all, I don't like speaking for other people. Second of all, I think it would be impossible to speak for a guy like Bobby, who he could be thinking anything at this point. We know that him and his brother don't want to play each other. Like he said that he doesn't.
At least they've
previously
spoken of. They didn't want to.
They don't like playing each other. Bobby specifically doesn't want a non-conference game against his brother. Doesn't want to play him.
Hey,
but
he did specify non-conference.
Yeah, that's exactly where I was going. He did specify non-conference. Whether that is semantics or not, you can look into that. Obviously, Providence being in the Big East, Dan Hurley coaching at UConn. I don't see a world where anything would change there. But it is the one that makes the most sense.
Yeah, I mean, you take away Dan and UConn, like it is a pretty good job. Like, I don't fully understand why Ed Cooley left for the team that was in the basement of that conference. But I mean, you look at that conference, like they had 5 teams in the tournament, and like the teams that weren't, like St. John's just hired Rick Pitino. Villanova won a national championship a couple years ago. Like, and Georgetown, who was at the bottom of the conference, is one of the most historic programs in college basketball. Like, there's plenty of reason, especially when you look at the state of the Big 12 or the Pac-12, Pac-10. Who knows what's going to happen there? Like, there's plenty of reasons why that's a very interesting job. But is it that interesting? Like, I don't know.
Look, when all this stuff happened yesterday, like, I mean, and by all this stuff, I mean when literally nothing happened yesterday and everyone just decided to start freaking out. I was like, what are we doing? Really? We really just like, are we really doing this right now? Like, what is the reasoning? And then whether it be time passing or more things brought to my attention or whatever, now I'm kind of like, okay, I could see why. And then it turns into, okay, this is a little panicky. And now it's like, if this motherfucker leaves, we know who we're looking at. So
Oh yeah, absolutely.
It's
It's not a surprise. Like I don't think anybody at this point, if Bobby decided to leave, would blame him, right?
Syracuse just hired a guy, Zona Tucson.
Over the last handful of years, Bobby, he's been here 8 seasons now. He's made the tournament 3 out of the last 5 seasons, I want to say. Like, come on now. Like, pay the man.
Yeah, but this applies for teachers, for police, like for any. If there is a lack of institutional support, it's going to be very hard to do your job. It doesn't matter how much you like your job, how much you like the people you work with,
How much you like doing that job at a specific place.
Yeah, like it does not matter. If Saul came in here every day and was just like, I don't really give a shit what y'all do. We need stuff. Nah. Like, I don't care. It doesn't matter how much I love y'all, how dope this job is. It's not going to be that fun to do it if there is no institutional support.
Yep.
And so it doesn't matter. Bobby might really love it, but at a certain point, like, there's plenty of people who go through this kind of thing where it's like, at a certain point, you love.
Just to preface, Saul is not like that.
Oh,
He's not. That's what I'm saying.
he said if.
I said if. But like, there's plenty of people like that. They get to crossroads in their life where they're like, I like a lot about what I do, but there is just like, at the end of the day, it's not best for me. And Michael Crow is kind of starting to put Bobby in that situation where he's going to have to weigh those things. And yeah, if Bobby does move on, whether it's regardless of where it is, it's hard to point fingers anywhere else other than, I mean, unless fucking, I don't know, whoever comes in and offers him a lifetime contract for billions of dollars, then it doesn't matter what's going on here. But like, if it's Providence, for example, I don't think that's gonna, I don't think that's what's happening. You have to point fingers at Michael Crow.
Yeah, as Dom says though in the chat, Providence is basketball school. That's
They
all
really
they care about. Live and breathe it.
Yeah.
The next,
And I mean, Duke is a basketball school.
But as much as it would hurt, I would love to see that. Like from a
college basketball,
just a college basketball fan perspective.
The Big East. Listen, I love the Big East. It's my favorite conference in basketball. I mean, not so much recently, but historically, I grew up a Big East guy. And the Big East looks like it's up. Like it's you got Marquette as a 2 seed. You got UConn looking like they're on their way back. I went through the conference. Like it seems like it could be a really fun place to play basketball.
Yeah.
And if Bobby has changed his mind a little bit on the playing his brother thing, or the non-conference thing really was a thing, like playing his brother in conference would do something different for him. I wouldn't, like, if I'm Bobby, I understand why you might want to take that job if it's on the table.
absolutely.
Yeah, but please don't.
Jason in the chat bringing up, a great point, right? Like, it's not like Ray and Bobby have the best relationship in the world.
But at least he understands that the facilities need to be upgraded.
At least he, of all people,
right?
it's him. Oh goodness!
If a person you don't see eye to eye with supports, it's just I don't know.
So much fucking hit me right in the heart. I wish Big East would bring back Syracuse, brother. So do I,
guys.
Before we move on, Shawn, you want to bring up the quote that was in the Canzano article that you pointed out,
which
about
part?
ASU's what they've been doing.
Oh yeah, I should find exactly what he said, but he basically said it's basically a goddamn miracle that Bobby is accomplishing what he's doing, considering what ASU is spending.
Okay, so he said the schools that invest in men's basketball generally do well in the standings. Washington State's 6th place finish in the conference is an outlier. The Cougars are squeezing more dollar for dollar out of men's basketball than anyone in the Pac-12. Also, Washington's 9th place finish in the standings was puzzling, considering they spent 10.5, yada, yada. But the job that Coach Bobby Hurley did in getting Arizona State to the NCAA tournament this season looks even more remarkable given the modest men's basketball investment of only $8.9 million.
That's crazy.
Real programs don't take commercial flights.
Guys, if you want to
Just
drink to
saying.
the institutional failure that is Arizona State,
Or pour one out for the institutional failure that is Arizona State.
4 Peaks. And while we're talking about institutional failure, the Arizona Cardinals, guys, they've got the 3rd overall pick in the draft. It's a big opportunity.
Bo didn't even raise his head.
To change the future, guys, the best place to take in this pivotal moment in the rest of the NFL draft on April 27th is at 4 Peaks 8th Street Pub. Just remember, you do got to be 21 years or older to enjoy responsibly.
They need something that's not like the Joy Bus is so good, but like when Bobby moves on, if he moves on.
Whoa.
Okay.
Well, I mean, he will eventually.
Yeah.
Nothing's forever.
Jesus.
That was
There
fucking
needs to be
dark.
No, it's not.
There
I mean,
needs to be a sad bus.
Babe
Wow.
spent 50 years at Syracuse and he retired.
There needs to be a sad bus. Wow.
That was as close to forever as
There
you
needs
can
to be
get.
a sad bus. Wow.
No, there doesn't.
No,
I-
no
there needs
how
to
are
be
you
a-
gonna be sad entering Four Peaks? It doesn't.
We'll call it the Crow Bus.
Sad bus,
Yeah,
Sad bus,
but it's still really good.
I'm sure. If it's coming from Four Peaks, it is.
Fantastic.
Beautiful
I
job.
laughed really hard in the middle of Shawn's serious statement because
That was dark. Are you good?
because there was the picture of Costco pizza
Oh yeah.
and the hot dog, and it said, "Where am I?" And Chad Johnson Jr. quote tweeted, said
Costco.
Costco, and Xavier Guillory said, "As soon as you see the glizzy, you knew." He goes, "Hey, bro, you foul." That's why
I've
I
never
laughed.
had a
Don't say Costco
Costco
pizza.
hot dog. I've had Costco
Okay.
pizza. I've never had a Costco hot dog. Because why waste your time when you could like? I didn't grow up around Costco's, but like I don't know where the closest Costco is. I know I can go to Circle K right over here. and
That's
get a
true. That's true.
Chicken Tornado or one of their hot dogs, something like
Dude,
that.
chicken tornadoes.
Dude, insane. Listen.
Yeah,
I know some of y'all might have your predispositions about
Uh-huh.
gas station food.
give it a try.
That's your grandpa's gas station. Circle K is different.
Plus, like the name.
Chicken Tornado, it could not even have real chicken in it, and I'd be about it. It does though.
That sounds like a terrifying movie.
Chicken
From
tornado.
the makers of Sharknado.
Yeah.
We have
You know,
Chicknado.
I have a family friend that worked on the fifth one. I
Really?
think he directed the fifth one.
I cannot
There was a
confirm or
fifth one?
deny. That's unbelievable. I lost count of how many Circle Ks there are because they're everywhere.
That'd be scary if you knew the exact number.
Yeah, there are 432 North American
There
locations.
are way more
of
than
Circle K. Yeah, I don't know. But there are $500 that you can win.
Ooh.
Particularly at $500 in a Circle K gas card if you text PHNX to 31310. So like I said, win $500 in gas. See the show notes for details. It's just Circle K being generous out here. They got chicken tornadoes. You got to pay for those, but you might not have to pay for gas.
Yep.
For a long time if you text that number.
Sharknado 5 Global Swarming is the name of it.
They were everywhere.
Uh,
Sharknadoes took over.
Over the world.
Look at this. Probably.
You know how sick I would be if I
Tony
lived
Hawk's
in like
in that movie.
really?
Yep.
Could you imagine living in like I don't know, rural Montana, and all of a
Iowa,
sudden
yeah.
there's just
Shark.
like a shark tornado, and it's just like
I'm fine with dumb movies, right? But if 5 years from now we're on Cocaine Bear 7, there's a problem.
No, because
Yes.
No, that one there definitely is because after like 3 cocaine bears, you need to learn your lesson.
But-
Keep your coke out of the woods.
well,
Like this is a natural occurrence. Like there's
A
nothing you can do
natural
about.
occurrence.
Well, I mean, in theory, like it's a tornado. It's a natural like shark.
You don't think
Cocaine
after
Bear.
the 4th shark tornado they would figure something out?
Oh yeah, you don't think after
After
the
the 5th
800th
hurricane?
real tornado they would
Wait.
stop it?
There's no
Like-
sharks in them, bro.
Oh yeah, because that's the bar. Hey,
That is the bar. Are you
No.
kidding me?
Oh,
There
your-
are sharks in a tornado
your
right now.
town of 500 just got destroyed by this tornado. Not a big issue. Talk to me when there's sharks.
yeah.
know,
I mean,
I'd be sick if I lived in Kansas. The cocaine bear, though, like I said, just stop dropping your coke in the woods.
Well,
That is preventable.
well, I think by Cocaine Bear like 3 or 4, I think he would have the bear would have become like a dealer or something.
yeah. Well,
the bear's also dead, so it would be a different bear every time.
Yeah, a different
Oh, no,
bear.
The bear
And
didn't die.
The bear died and then
came back to life.
yeah,
of
because
cocaine.
coke fell down on his nose.
wow, really?
Yeah.
Fucking spoiler alert.
That's
Jeez.
not.
I mean, You don't need to see the movie. It's not a good movie.
Yeah. So
Is that the end of it?
Not
No,
really.
no.
No. Like
How
it's
did it
it's an
end?
important part.
Okay,
That's
can we-
kind of the end. It's an important part of the movie,
Damn,
but it like
guys!
it's like it doesn't.
Come on!
It's not. It's
I
important.
was definitely gonna take an OGs and watch that.
It's important.
That's
No, you were
messed
not.
up.
That
yes,
you're
I
not.
was.
It does not spoil the movie. Like you don't know. Yeah.
Sounds like it spoils.
It
the
doesn't
movie.
spoil the
Zone
movie.
It sounds
Tucson.
like
I
it
You don't know
sounds
what
like-
happens
I know,
after.
but it sounds like it spoils a moment where I've been like, "Oh shit!"
No, there was never any oh shit
Because
moment.
when
If I
you're
was
watching-
if I was on OGs, I think.
Now, Cocaine Shark.
Holy fuck!
That would
Cocaine
be crazy.
Shark.
Sharknado.
Water.
Stop it.
Dude.
We're done with sharks and natural disasters.
I don't
High
think we
honey
are.
badger, dude. Get a honey badger.
Let's see just
coke
what are the
up.
craziest
Oh my god!
things we got in here, dude.
Fucking
Is
get a
there a
honey badger
Sharknado
on
7?
ketamine. That shit would go crazy.
Cocaine squirrel? I think we talked about that on G-rated
Yeah, I
for a
think we
quick
did.
second. Oh man.
Ketamine kangaroo. That
Mm.
shit would go crazy.
Yep.
It's from the makers of Kangaroo Jack. We have ketamine
Well,
kangaroo.
it doesn't need to be an alliteration.
Yeah, it does.
No, it doesn't
Well,
because
cocaine
cocaine
bear's
bear.
not, but it. Nah, I like alliteration.
Yeah, ketamine kangaroo goes
The
stupid.
heroin
Thank you for
hyena.
throwing away my
The
coffee,
heroin
though.
hyena.
Yeah. Thank you.
The
What else?
ayahuasca iguana.
Ooh.
That just sounds like a really awesome shaman you'd
The
go
meth
to in the
mammoth?
woods.
Whoa.
Or the
That
meth
one, the
Yo,
Meth Mammoth takes
Meth Head Cheetah.
Oh.
That's a good band name. The Meth Mammoth?
Meth Mammoth is a great
The Meth
grunge
Mammoth
band
sounds
name.
like an awesome dive bar.
Meth
Dude.
Mammoth.
You want to
Does
hit a Meth Mammoth later tonight?
Dude.
I heard they're doing 3-for-1
It
squirrel
is
shots.
punk rock is the
Yeah.
only thing that's played.
Live
Yeah.
music every Thursday.
You guys want to go get some
Some drinks,
But no,
Some
but it's
anything?
kind of like it's
Some
gimmicky.
Shark Tornado.
It's gimmicky like breakfast bitch, where it's like, oh my god, these fries, meth, crack.
They're like-
Just everything is drugs.
Yeah. You want some slut fries? You're like, whoa, I just want some French fries.
Do you want
dog.
some French fries with
But
crack
you're like,
sprinkled
yeah.
on them? What do you mean by that? It's just rosemary.
Yeah. You want some
Rosemary
crack
and
fries?
Parmesan.
All right, next topic.
That was
So-
PHNX drug talk.
Back to ASU basketball.
Don't do them.
No.
Yes. No.
Not well. You smoke weed. That's fine.
Yeah.
Responsibly.
There you go. Oh geez, get it in you. Basketball season's over.
Mm.
We talked about Hurley. We talked about the whole situation that could unfold. I want to turn it a little bit, or maybe a little bit of a happier note.
Dude,
Stop it.
You.
I do. I use my hands a
No,
lot.
no,
He's
no.
Italian.
There's nothing wrong with using your hands because I use my hands a lot too. You freaking
Do you have any Italian in
Well,
you?
yeah, a lot.
Oh, we're a really Italian
But,
show.
but
Italian in you?
you're like Avatar. You're like,
Paisan.
let's go ahead and flip the script a little bit.
What do you want from me? You want me to just sit here? I'm
No,
gonna sit on my hands.
okay,
There we go.
I offended him.
You did. You did offend me. Let's get to some team awards.
Yeah.
So last year we did this. Obviously, a lot of these guys, or some of these guys, probably won't be on the roster next year. I'm just curious. We'll start with the newcomer of the year, Shane. I mean,
It's my dog. Roof, roof. It's also my MVP. It's also my defensive player of the year. It's also my
really, he's got
Spoiling
every award for
everything.
you.
probably.
That's crazy.
I mean, well, it depends. Is this like offensive player of the year where the MVP can't win it?
Yes.
Oh, it
Yeah.
is.
Yeah, I
I'd
made
say-
up that rule right now.
Okay. Then it's Devin
Devin.
Cambridge
Okay,
for
why?
sure.
That's your newcomer.
Because they only lost one game when he scored double figures, and he did every single thing. He was a guy that not only the newcomer of the year, but also the biggest surprise of the year to me, because he was supposed to
That's
be a
fair.
guy that came off the bench with energy, and he started every single game that he was healthy.
Yeah.
and,
And he
was
provided scoring at times.
scoring at way more times than I thought.
Yeah.
What was his final number? Was it double digits? Let
In
me
the
figure it out. One sec. Devin Cambridge averaged 9.8 points a game. Almost.
wow.
Almost.
And we got tequila shots, double tequila shots with him and Des.
I'm glad we got it once, like
Yeah.
right at the end of the year.
Same.
Their last one of the season.
You know what sucks?
That way he lost.
Barring something crazy, we're not gonna have brothers on the team next year.
Well, unless the Runzone brothers want to go crazy.
Do you have a newcomer of the year?
I do, and he's not Duke Brennan. I mean, obviously, you know, the Cambridge brothers are huge, but I mean, we got a freshman providing incredibly valuable minutes to the point where Enoch never saw the court.
How many minutes
as
a game did he
returner.
get?
Like 5,
9.
4, 9, really? That many? But like, I mean, we talked all year about his drive, and I think obviously, again, the Cambridge brothers were awesome, but Duke is a piece for the future.
Yeah.
And I mean, Austin would have been in the conversation too if he had played late in the year, but like you have a freshman getting minutes in the NCAA tournament, in the Pac-12 tournament, and this is I guess I don't want to like come at him in part an indictment on Enoch, but like we never had to see him, and
Had to.
well, I mean, but like that says a lot about how good and valuable Duke Brennan was, that he came in here as a freshman and kind of usurped Enoch as that number 2 center.
Yeah.
And like I said, he's a piece for the future.
What percentage do you think it is that Enoch stays?
2.
That's what I thought last year, though.
Yeah, but
I mean,
I
your
don't think
odds
it
are
was
you're losing
clear.
Warren.
like if you are losing Warren, that's true.
Odds are-
Potentially.
Odds are. Yeah, but and I guess chances are you get Lampkin, but or not. Did I say chances are? I said
Yeah.
there's a chance that you get Lampkin. I didn't mean chances are. But like
This ASU's getting Eddie Lampkin Jr. It's
He's
happening.
here, it's happening. He just
Yeah.
texted me.
That's
no,
actually my
there is a
dog.
chance.
He's my Mr. Sun Devil.
But what are they gonna say? Like, I think if you're Enoch coming into this past season, you're like, okay, Warren's here, but on paper he's the number 2. Like I think that was he probably had to lose that spot. So now I think it's clear he's not getting in front of Duke. So I would say he's probably.
I mean, he lost minutes to Gaffney. He lost minutes to Warren.
Yeah.
He lost minutes to Duke.
Yeah.
And I
mean,
think the two guys outside of Duke, Warren and Alonzo, what they have over Duke and Enoch is they have the ability to shoot.
Yeah.
So of course you're going to run with the big that is not only taller but can be somewhat of a threat anywhere on the court.
Yeah, the difference between Enoch and Duke though is that this was Duke's first year playing college basketball. And Enoch's third, right? So I mean, really, he's only actually played 1 year where he's seen the court, but third year as a college athlete. Duke's got a lot of time to grow.
My newcomer of the year is Warren Washington. There were times this season, obviously, where there was a little bit left to be desired, but when he ate. Mm-hmm. And there were some games this season that they won strictly off of what Warren Washington was able to do, not only from a scoring perspective or a dominance inside, but just being able to hit his court vision at times. His passing really, really surprised me as a 7-footer, as a big man. And I think what he did, we haven't seen a true 7-footer at Arizona State in quite some time, not really under Bobby Hurley, but I think that sets the precedent. I know it wasn't the craziest year for Warren Washington, but if you're a 7-foot transfer or you're a center and there's this perception that Bobby Hurley is strictly only going to feed his guards and his guards are the reason you go to Arizona State or wherever he's coaching, I think what he was able to do is show that you can still be you can have a successful season as a 7-footer under Bobby Hurley. Mm-hmm. And I think that is definitely going to make waves down the line, hopefully in the transfer portal, for some taller men, some big men to come to Arizona State.
Yeah. Last big man you can think that went to ASU.
Big man or tall man?
Big man. Romello White.
Yeah.
Romello White was a big man.
Melo, there was an awesome time when it was Melo and Daquan Lake. It was those two.
Daquan Lake was a tall man, though. Daquan Lake blocked shots.
He was a shot blocker.
But he didn't really have much. He was a big man because
you combine those two, you get Joel Embiid.
He was too big man.
He was too big?
He was too big man that he was tall man. Because he had no hands. He didn't really have offense. There's no back to the basket.
He was Enoch but taller.
Yeah, but he was sure.
There you go.
Sure.
Okay.
Also, I want to get rid of the let's try to erase the stigma that Bobby Hurley big men don't do well. Let's single-handedly do it.
That's what I tried to do.
That's my agenda next year.
That's your agenda?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. You have a political agenda?
It's not political.
It seems political.
It's not political. Let's not make this political.
Okay. Sure. Let's get to most improved player, and I'm going to start because I don't want you to take it. It's Jemiah Neal. I think.
Okay, is that yours?
Yeah.
That's all.
A clean sweep.
Yeah.
Clean sweep. Jemiah Neal. What he was able to do. You could erase honestly what happened the first 3 months of the season,
dude.
What he was able to accomplish this last month.
Everything in the last 2 weeks of the year.
Yeah, and I think he gave you a lot of hope for if he comes back to ASU next year.
I'd be shocked.
What he can be as a scorer.
Yeah.
Right. There were times this postseason where he would take shots and you're just like, holy shit, didn't know you had this in the bag.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, the guys that are on this team that you can assume will be here, or not assume, you can't assume anything, but I guess are likely to return next year. Like, they did a lot to give me confidence in them at the end of the season. Yeah. Like him, Gaffney, Frankie, and I want to say Frankie honorable mention for most improved, because I mean, you look at just what he was for the first couple of games in the season where he was chucking up bad shots, seemed a little out of control. I think he developed a lot throughout the year, but the guys did a lot to give you confidence in what this team might look like next year. Not as sick. Well, I'm not sick anymore. I definitely would have been earlier in the year sick at the idea of Alonzo Gaffney starting for this team next year. I'm not now. I think he could be a good piece, especially given an opportunity to be a starter. Same for Jemiah. Same for Frankie. But yeah, I definitely think Jemiah. The improvement from last year, what we saw at the beginning of the year, and then throughout the year, the improvement that he made. Definitely
massive.
Deserves the reward.
Yeah, Jason in the chat, most improved from beginning of the year equals Gaffney, Baby Mutombo.
That was the most improved from 1 week to another. He was just not really good, and then in the Pac-12 tournament, or the last couple games of the year, in the Pac-12 tournament, it was just all the
him and Jemiah
against TCU.
Really yeah,
him and Jemiah started taking something.
I feel like they just got in a room and they're like, we're gonna be good.
Yeah,
we're gonna just do this.
Let's quit the charades,
dude. If you get Gaffney playing next year the way he played against TCU. Watch out now.
Dude, 5 points and 7 rebounds every night, baby.
Yeah.
Like, we're going double double.
Two blocks
and
on
rebounds.
one position. Or one
If
possession.
Gaffney gets a double double with blocks and rebounds next year, I'll tattoo his fucking name on me somewhere.
Why do you do these things?
It's
Lonzo
not gonna
or
happen.
Gaffney? What do you got to go?
I'll just Zoe.
Just Zoe.
I'll do like
I feel
how
like that
guys
will
get
raise
their
questions.
initials tattooed on their arms, but I'll do a Z over here and O over here.
You're
With a
gonna-
mantis
that's
on
what
the
you'll
Z.
do.
If he gets 10,
Wait, you're dead serious about this? If he
They're
gets 10
going to
blocks
play.
and 10
They're
rebounds,
gonna have their swag series next year.
yeah, but look what happened in this.
Oh yeah, but they're gonna be better next year.
Motherfucker's not gonna get 10 blocks and 10
Also-
rebounds with no.
But you're
points.
putting that out there right now. If
I
Alonzo,
feel like I've said this a bunch of times. The reality is that we're gonna get there next year. He's gonna do it, and we're gonna forget about it.
Dude,
well,
I would
we're
not.
clipping this, and if
No.
this happens,
I would not forget a 10.
yeah, you would. If Alonzo Gaffney were to get 10 blocks in a game,
This would
like this would
this
come
would
out.
Yeah,
Re-
no. Okay,
yeah,
I'm
reanimate.
about it. No. If he gets a 10 block, 10 rebound, I will get his. I'm not going to do it on my arms. I'll match. I have my sister's initials tattooed here. I will match it with ZO on my
Can
other,
you
my
imagine
other
God.
wrist.
having something super
You wanna know-
super meaningful and then just Gaffney?
Real hot seat. The
No,
sister
Zoe.
who doesn't have their initials that just took their spot. Alonzo Gaffney. So
Damn. Did
So,
your sister have
she's
Twitter?
got to get a double first. Then
Oh,
Alonzo, wrist is blank for you.
that is wild.
that's
That's a first.
I don't think anybody's ever done that at ASU, but
a 10 block.
Has anybody like? When's the last
Bashinsky
time
might have came close.
Has anybody done that in college basketball? Like,
How many double doubles did ASU have this season? Let alone in blocks
did they have any?
16 is the most ever
by
Blocks in a
ASU.
game.
by Alabama A&M against Texas Southern
Wow. There you go.
against the SWAC team, baby.
It would be electric, guys, if Gaffney was able to get a double
Warren needs to come back.
double. Guys, something else that's electric: Burrito Express.
True.
We had burritos, and the whole office is covered in burritos. It's phenomenal.
Well, that's
what?
It's
You can't
not
lie
that-
to people.
It's not covered in burritos. They are
It's-
where they belong. in the
Yeah, that
kitchen.
would be a
Mm.
bad thing. We would be misusing Burrito Express.
Was that the burrito?
That was the burrito. It was trying to come out and be like, "You're wrong, Totri. I'm not covered. I'm not covering the
burrito.
office."
Thinks the human form is limiting.
Yeah.
Yeah,
there
the
you go.
burrito does think the human form is limiting. That's why it's a burrito.
Burrito Express is not limiting, though. You guys can really customize just about anything you want at Burrito Express. They got plenty of options, and if you didn't know, they got themselves 2 new NIL athletes as well. ASU football player Elijah Badger and softball star Jazz Hill. They're going to receive support in cash, clothes, and of course burritos. So anytime you go to Burrito Express, you're kind
yeah.
of supporting some Arizona State athletes as well. Check them out. They got locations all over the valley. Give them a follow on social at Burrito EXP.
Bashinsky did do it. He did do it with blocks once. He got a triple double with it.
I hope this happens.
I mean, yeah. Okay, Alonzo. Go
Gaffney
off.
needs to. We're gonna have. If that happens, Gaffney is gonna be on our show.
I'll let Gaffney give me the fucking tat.
Just tattoo ZO
Yeah.
to your wrist. Okay, sure. Why not? Getting
Cal
back to
State-
awards.
Against Cal State Northridge. 13, 12, and 12.
What are Gaffney's most blocks in the game though?
Probably 4.
Yeah, I want to say probably 4.
But he also
He had 2 on one possession in the TCU game.
yeah, that was crazy.
Well, you looked that up, Shane. Who's your defensive player this year?
Damn it. It would
I
be
had an
Dez
answer.
because he's so underrated. I gotta go Lou. Just because I always have preached how good he is defensively and how much he brings off the bench, even when he's not scoring. But then adding in the scoring, he's just so solid defensively.
Yeah.
And you really can't ask for much more. So I'm gonna say Loser Mom,
Especially a guy coming off the bench too.
Alonzo Gaffney's career high in blocks is 5 against Stanford in last season.
Okay, so it's trending upwards. Who is your defensive player of the year?
Frankie,
Okay.
top 10 in steals in the conference, steals per game in the conference. Impressive rebounding abilities for a guy that's his size. I just think you have a guard that small, you're not necessarily expecting like tremendous defensive production from him, and I think he did provide that in a lot of situations. I mean, the backcourt in general was just all of them were great defensively, but I think Frankie was a little bit of an unknown coming into the year, and what he provided defensively was nice.
Mhm.
I'm gonna go Duke Brennan. I know a lot was made about the inability to score or lack this season so far. But I think what he was able to do, just crashing the glass offensively and defensively. It felt like any time he was in the game, I know he only averaged like 8 or 9 minutes per game, but it felt like he was getting 1 to 2 offensive rebounds every rotation that he was in. And they were key, right? That could be the difference between games sometimes, is that 1 to 2 extra possessions. And I think you're only going to see him improve defensively next season. So I think he was my defensive player of the year, especially as a freshman too, right? There's not many defensive big men that I can think of that have gone to Arizona State that impact the game the way that he did on the defensive side of the ball. Shane, last year it was Kamani Lawrence. Who is Mr. Sun Devil this year?
Shawn swayed me. Shawn, who's Mr. Sun Devil this year?
Micah Burno.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's he won this award in one game at the Pac-12 tournament, and obviously we didn't have the privilege of sitting directly behind the bench all year, and so I'm sure we would have realized it earlier. But I mean, man went from walk-on to scholarship player this year, and I've said this before. I think when you sat there, no disrespect, but when you at the time you were like, how did Olmsted not get the scholarship here? Is a walk-on that has played minutes before with scholarship players. Like what? I mean, not really this year, but he did points last year. And then we got to the Pac-12 tournament. You saw it. He was I mean, everything you expect from a coach's son was Micah Burno. Like just the way he conducted himself on the bench. He always was bringing energy, always trying to coach up his teammates, both like tactically and just trying to get them hyped and stay locked in.
There were times when the players were looking at him,
yeah,
trying to figure out okay, what do we got?
You could tell that he means a lot to this team, and he is definitely like an unsung hero, and that's to me like that's what this Mr. Sun Devil Award is about. It's like obviously nothing to show for it on statistically speaking, but he, I think, embodied a lot of what Kamani embodied last year, being a leader, even if he was not the best player on the court. And obviously Kamani was a super valuable piece as an actual player, but I think, like I said, we saw during the Pac-12 tournament that what Micah provides to this team is invaluable.
Yeah.
Especially for a team with so many new pieces.
I'm going to go clean sweep there as well. I think.
Shout out to DJ Horn, though.
For sure.
Shout out to DJ Horn. Before we get to MVP, I want to tell you guys about our MVP, Illegal Pete's. Guys, nothing cures my bracket is busted in the first round.
No boy, my bracket
round.
is busted.
Is it?
Dude,
You know what will solve that, though?
Marg action?
Little Marg action. Tequila. Yes, sir. Guys.
Say tequila again, Shawn.
Tequila.
Look at his face when he does it.
Tequila. What? Someone just like mooed
Yeah,
or
that was a
something?
moo.
That
bleated?
was a goat.
It was someone bleated like a goat.
Oh my God, it was Michaela.
She mooed?
Sometimes you become the things you hate.
Batman.
I'm
Goat Man.
Michaela just turned into the Batman, the goat man, the goat woman.
Try out
I'm
an
going
Illegal Pete's
I'm
Coin
going.
Premium or Frozen Margarita. Stop by for happy hour, 3 p.m. to 6 p.m. every single day. But Shane, you know what I say? Every hour at Illegal Pete's is happy hour.
But it's not.
But it is. It's a happy hour.
It's like legally speaking, it's not. Like I don't want to know false advertising.
Yeah.
But it is a happy hour.
Every hour you spend at Illegal Pete's is happy.
Yeah.
Say that. Don't say every hour is happy hour.
I didn't say it's happy hour. I said it's a happy hour.
You said every hour is happy
Illegal
hour.
Pete's. Get it in your mouth. What? You didn't like that?
No, the get in your mouth is fine. I don't like you lying to people.
I'm not lying to people.
But
Shane, tell the people about what we got going on this week.
We got something real fun. Shawn can't make it this time because
I'm
he's
so
got
very
a
sad.
coyote show to produce. Stupid, but
Whoa.
Whoa.
I'm gonna tell the host of the show that you said that.
Craig.
I said the host of the show. Wow, I'm gonna tell the host of the show you said that.
Get out to our tea
I
party.
thought you were just telling me to leave.
Get out. Leave.
You can still get in on this right now, and if you're a diehard, it's a lot cheaper. $36 per person if you're a diehard, but if you're not a diehard, it's okay. It's $45, $160 per foursome if you're not a diehard, $120 for foursome if you are a diehard. Plus, everyone 10 and under plays for free. Make sure to come out this Friday, March 24th, 5 p.m.
Ooh, that's gonna be a beautiful Friday. I know it's been gray the last couple of days.
It's
sunny, 71.
It's so nice out, and it's at Dobson Ranch.
And I mean, even if it
Just
wasn't, they got
another
heaters
beautiful
and stuff,
day.
but-
At Dobson Ranch.
Just another beautiful.
And we got to get out there again to play. Love Dobson Ranch.
Yeah, I
He
asked
just
him,
asked-
I asked him on Sunday.
Yeah, but
I was going to
again,
come ask you, but then he said the Coyotes
stinking
have a
Coyotes
game at
ruining
noon.
everything, ruining our fun. They got a game.
We
at
can
noon.
still go golf. You want to go golfing?
Whoa! come
On
now.
Sunday?
Yeah.
We'll see. We'll talk after
I
the
would
show.
be really offended and hurt.
Well, that's the Coyotes' fault. to be honest with you. We'll let you know, though. Guys, before we get out of here, MVP. Who got it this year? Shane?
He made it. He made it. Des Cambridge Jr.
You sure about that?
Finally, I was right about something. Actually, no. Basketball-wise, finally, I was right about a newcomer. Well,
Okay.
I mean, you say this like you've been doing this for years. Like you were just wrong about Marion last year.
was I wrong?
Yes, you were.
Yes, you were.
What was I wrong about?
He was he was not good for most of the year.
Yeah, okay.
Like
Did I say he was going to be good the whole year?
you said, he was going to be good, and for most of it, he wasn't.
Yeah, but
I'll be honest, we started, though, at halfway through the season already.
That is true. That is very true. I do forget about
But yeah,
that. I
you're
do
1
forget
for
this
2.
was
You're
our
shooting
first full year.
50%. You're shooting 50%. You're good.
Yeah.
You shot higher than Marion did last year.
You're not wrong.
Not wrong.
I love you, Marion. Marion's got jerseys for sale, though I don't know.
We're talking about this year's MVP, and we're talking about Marion
Though
Jackson.
I don't know the validity of the jerseys. I don't
They
know
did
how,
not look like
the
they were
website is not authentic.
not a real one. You
Yeah.
might get your money taken.
Desmond Cambridge Jr. If this man was scoring 30 points a game, the game was basically already over.
Brother, he could have not scored a single point this year outside of that shot at McCall.
Yeah.
And he would still be the MVP.
Yeah, finished the year 13.6 points a game, shooting almost 40% from the field, 32% from the three-point line. But if you didn't watch a lick of Arizona State basketball, then you really wouldn't understand how much he brought to this team.
Yeah.
Whether it be a 10-0 run that was solely him, or to halt a 10-0 run by the other team. Whenever you needed a shot, I almost said Martin Jackson delivered. Desmond Cambridge Jr. delivered. And just the passion he plays with. We've seen how he talks about this team off the court. And I've heard this a couple times, but I wouldn't be surprised if he gets into media after, he goes to play wherever he's going to play after this, because he is such a great interview and such an awesome dude. And I just, wish him the best on everything, because obviously he's a graduate student, so he can't come back. But God, it's gonna suck without 4 on the court.
Yeah. Des, if you're interested, always happy to pull up a 4 seat. Number 4 seat. It's all yours. Number 4, you throwing up 4? My regular season MVP is
Fourth
I
quarter.
feel like Hunger Games.
No,
Des
what?
Cambridge.
That's I was
Okay.
putting out the fours for the fourth quarter.
Okay, well, I'll put it up for Hunger Games.
Well, that's only 3 though, and it's together. Come on, Cadence.
Regular season MVP, Desmond Cambridge Jr., postseason MVP, DJ Horn.
Alonzo Gaffney.
DJ Horn, what he was able to do in the Pac-12 tournament for the second straight year, and then the NCAA tournament. This team, when DJ Horn scores and plays the way that he did in the postseason, it is impossible to beat this team. Obviously, Dez was phenomenal during the regular season, and he had the shot, right? That's going to go down in ASU basketball history. But there's just something about when DJ Horn was scoring for this team, it never felt like they were going to lose.
He kept the season alive for like 11 seconds.
Yeah.
And tying that is
He
still,
delivered on the rally
He
dog.
hit what should have been the biggest shot of the year, which is crazy considering what Dez did.
Yep.
He hit what was
Well, because Dez's shot got you in the tournament, basically. Kept
yeah,
you
Yeah,
alive.
but this one
got
would've
you to the
kept
Sweet
you.
16, or
Yeah.
not. Well, didn't get you to Sweet 16. Would have given you an opportunity to get to Sweet 16.
Yeah.
But,
I think they win that game yesterday. I think they win that
if
game
it goes
yesterday.
the way that game did go, like the TCU Gonzaga game went,
Because I think you have way more way more of an whoa. I just lost my wording.
I would have loved to seen Warren versus
Way more of an answer.
Timmy.
Way more of an answer for Drew Timmy.
You good?
He's
Am I
fine.
good?
Yeah.
He's fine.
You don't know what that's from?
No.
Are you
Oh my
serious?
God, I'm sick of this.
Vanilla ice cream.
No, vanilla ice cream's good.
No,
Yeah.
it's not.
Tell that to Jalen Conyers.
I will. Guys, if you enjoyed the content,
It's
you
from
can
South
give the
Park, by
show.
the
way. Yeah.
I've never seen a single episode of South Park.
That's-
You can follow the show at PHNX_Sun Devils. You can follow me at Anthony_Totri.
For all the
Follow
controversial
Shane.
things you say.
How is that controversial? I haven't seen a show.
No, it's surprising that you haven't watched South Park.
Okay. You can follow Shane at Shane Deef. You can follow Shawn at Pause at Shawn_Pause.
Disappointed in Totri as always.
Wait, you said what'd you say?
Disappointed in Totri as
Oh,
always.
I thought you said a disappointment to Totri as always. I was like,
Damn.
what? Damn.
He's not a disappointment. You're a disappointment. Carry on.
Whoa.
Whoa. Okay, now we're going to be on for another 5
You
minutes.
can follow Shawn.
No.
I'm not disappointed in you.
Then why the hell did you say that?
It was
it's
just
just-
a joke.
That's not funny.
He laughed.
At Shawn DePaz dealing with this as always.
Oh, dealing with this. We'll see you guys tomorrow at 2. For now, peace.